Yes, a golf cart. We're gonna be big timing with a golf cart.
Of course, huh?
A fast golf cart.
It's good.
Ready for business. How cool is that right there, boys? Oh yeah. Got us a golf cart. Anyways, clean her up and doll her up a little bit. We'll be right.
No kidding.
Huh?
No kidding.
It's awesome. Look at awesome. Something else I had on my bucket list all my life. A golf cart. Alright, just got a 650 in. This is for Mark. He has a YouTube channel. Old Guy in the Garage. That's his YouTube channel. Go there and check him out. Pretty cool fella. But it's got this 650 and it's been causing him all kinds of problems. And when I first got it, I looked and could see that one of the holes in the butterfly. I talked him through fixing this thing a long time ago. And I told him to weld them holes up. And he did. He welded them all up, but that one didn't quite get welded all the way. So it's causing this thing to need more fuel than it should because of the extra air and the balance is all out of whack. So I'm sure there's probably other things in it. But it's just running really, really rich and he can't seem to get it figured out. Wasn't for lack of trying. He said he was about ready to smash this thing with a hammer. But so he sent it to me. I'm gonna run through it and see what I can find and get her fixed and send it back to him. Alright, he said this thing was running really, really rich and it would idle good, and then after he got it up to temperature it would just start idling higher and higher and higher. And right here's why. See your secondary side, watch this. When you push it, see how much T-slot's exposed? When you push it, it closes. When you open it, your spring right here is too wore out, it's too weak to pull the secondary back closed. So what's happened is, when you give it a few pump shots to rev it, see what happens? See if they get stuck? I'm gonna have to pull this apart and clean the bore, the throttle shaft bore, and then tighten up that spring. That's a problem right there. That and that hole not being welded up all the way. But that's what's happening. That's why it's laying so much fuel to it. That's why the idle isn't stable. That's what's causing all his problems. Just a wore out base plate. But I'll fix her. I'm probably gonna fix the primary too. It's a little soggy. And I'm going to go ahead and measure all these ports and figure out the area of flow of this thing with the jet and all that stuff. Alright, this is Mark 650. Old Guy in the shop from YouTube. Got on here, everything's ice cold. It's about 30 degrees now. It's warmed up a little bit since earlier. But I got fuel pressure run to it. I got about 7 pounds of fuel pressure. Went with a 68 primary, 77 secondary. Mixer screws are out 1.5 full turns. 4.5 power valve. All that stuff. Fixed the base plate. And cleaned out all the ports and everything on the meter room blocks and all that. So got on the black truck, fixing to fire it up and see how she does. This will be a full-on cold start and all that. So we will see here in a minute. I'll probably have to turn the idle up because this motor is this is about 11 to 1 355. It does have crappier heads than what his 327 has, but we'll see. But basically same intake setup. Dual plane with a 2-inch open plenum spacer. So I'll get it close on this combo and it should be good for his. Alright, here is the 650. Got the black truck. Got a little heat in it. I'll sit here and fire it up. Should idle about 1200 now. Alright, this is a 600 Holley I built for Brian in Georgia. I did him a 650 a while back for his Camaro, and he absolutely loved it, so he wanted me to do a 600 for a truck. It's a stock, basically a stock engine. So this 600 is very mild. 65 jet, 8.5 power valve in it, stock power valve restrictor circuits. You know, nothing crazy, just a regular old 600. So I'm gonna put fuel pressure to it, make sure there's no leaks, and fire it up and put a base tune in it and box it up and send it to him. That carburetor is just so small with them small jets. I can't get it to idle, like idle really good, you know, above 1,000 RPM. It just won't do it because that carburetor is just so small. This cam's got a whole lot of duration. It's high compression and everything else. So that should be good. It ought to work fine on the stock deal. I'm gonna turn the idle back down. I got it up 3 full turns out, so it's the primary T-slot is super exposed. So I'm gonna turn that back down, and the mixture screws on the front are 1 full turn out. So it should be good. Alright, it's doing fine. This is just really small. 65 jet is really small for this motor. A 600 is really small for this motor. In order to get it to even idle, I had to open this, like, expose tons of T-slot. And then when you do that, they're just rich. But this should do fine. This should do great on a stock build. On mild cam, short duration, low lift, this ought to do really well. Stock compression. Just this thing, even on a 750, it requires a 7484 jet in it with a 6.5 power valve or a 4.5 power valve. This has got an 8.5 in it, so the power valve is probably already open. It's just, this is the wrong setup for this motor, but it will fire up and run. Basically all you have to do is adjust the mixture, just the idle screw. All right, the fuel delivery system on this truck absolutely sucks. So we was having all kinds of problems yesterday, and it just pick up fuel, lose prime, all this stuff, because it's got a 64 Chevy 2 gas tank in it. So I'm putting a fuel cell in it, putting it up there. When we get to it, pump gas in it, whatever. Probably run a fill neck up and over, but then we'll still be able to use the truck as a truck. As you can see, I'm kind of a pack rat, but I use all this stuff on a daily basis, believe it or not. But yeah, so I'm fixing to put a fuel cell in this truck and fix this fuel delivery problem. All right, I got everything laid out. Now I'm going to drill holes in the corner and then get the saw and cut, and I may even round these front pieces out and make it look more nicer. But that's where she's going. All right, holes made. Fuel cell drops in. There it is, nice and tight. Alright, now I got it jacked up. I'm pumping the fuel out so I can swap from the tank to the fuel cell. Alright, comes out of the fuel cell, straight to the fuel filter, straight to the fuel pump, gravity fed. So that should work great. Yep, I think you should never lose prime again. Alright, just put 5 gallons of gas in it. Let's see if it picks up the fuel. Even setting up like this, let's see if it picks it up. Yep, instantly. Even on an incline like this. Fantastic. Setting that high up, still picks up the fuel like a champion. Check this out. I take the cap off. I got the line coming out of the old tank right there, and all I do is blow on that side and pressurize it, and it literally pushes all the fuel out. It's awesome. Alright, we pulled Karlas' Camaro out. This is the first decent day it's been. It still ain't spring yet, but we're getting there. It was about 66 degrees a day, which is perfect weather for backing out a hot rod and giving it a little bit of a bath. We're going to wet sand it, do one more coat, and it'll be ready. Kind of digging the black steelies on the back and the center lines on the front. Reminds me of another car I remember. Yeah, her lady was out here and got her all washed up and cleaned up. And
yep.
She wanted to move it forward to take her a picture. Hop in there and move it forward. Streetcar, we're shopping.